अदर तुम जाओ चाकरी आपण 50 टका लागेल आपण 50 रिटर्न
हे गेला सर
हाय कौन अच्छा ता लिंक दियो तू पळो जा कोन ऑडियो जाउछ ना एठी चेक करबा को खाली हे गेला पळला ना आ लोक को सब डाक अटेंडेंस पडियो जे आज अटेंड करो मार्क लियो न होला तो फेल अटेंड करले हो जी ओ
सर अपन व्हाट्सएप पे लॉगिन कर दो कि
सब कर
अब एक परमानेंटली ये क्रिएट कीजिए क्लास हां उसको लॉगिन करके रख दीजिए मैं इधर से कनेक्ट
तो सही तो
हम लाइव करो ना सीना वो लाइव करो
और देखिए गूगल क्लासरूम होगा हां
सर ओके सर
उस गूगल क्लासरूम का कनेक्ट कर दीजिए तो इधर से मैं ऑनलाइन में प्रेजेंट करूंगा वही इधर कनेक्ट करूंगा
আমি মেডিকেল কলেজে পড়াই আছি জীবন কম করে জীবনটা এমনি পাঠ দিয়ে করে পড়লে কিছু করে কোন পাঠ দিয়ে পড়তে হইলে 150 কিলোমিটার জঙ্গল ভিতরে আসি কটক যাচ্ছেন না পড়তে সেইটি থাকি টমেটো ভিতরে আগে টমেটো আমি সবজেক্ট আগে বলতাম আখড়ে কি রাস্তা করে ঠিক ভাই এক কিলো 30
सर अपन फोटो
बाय नंबर टाइप माने तमे टाइप करछो और तमे बोलो टाइपिंग करछो
सर मैंने इधर के जाना पड़छ
हेलो
हां सर
हां
हां क्लास कोड दीजिएगा तो
सर यूट्यूब में हां
सर से लिंक का पट्टी दिन सर
हां
दो लिंक करिए
हाँ सर आपको भेज रहे हैं सर भेज रहे हैं ये सर YouTube लाइव का लिंक आपको भेज रहे हैं सर
अच्छा YouTube लाइव का लिंक
हां दिस इज YouTube लाइव
अच्छा अच्छा
सो
गूगल क्लासरूम
नो सर
अच्छा सो हाउ विल आई प्रेजेंट ये
सर यू कैन प्रेजेंट हियर नो प्रॉब्लम
अच्छा
you can present here you can use this one as you have done yesterday and this will be live they can see the PPT from here no problem it will be visible there
not clearly visible so people clear has to
बट गूगल क्लासरूम में पीपीटी को होस्ट नहीं कर सकते ना
सर ये आप जो बोल रहे हैं शायद वो गूगल मीट में ही हो सकता है शायद
हां गूगल मीट में
then shall we go for Google Meet instead of YouTube then you will be presenting here itself
हां मैं इधर से प्रेजेंट करूंगा आप उस लॉगिन को कर दीजिए उधर लॉगिन डाल देंगे तो क्लास कोड डाल देंगे तो लोग लेकिन स्टूडेंट को पता कैसे चलेगा कैन दे डू दैट
सर एटा जेंते चालचे चालू बोले
हां
सर गूगल मीट रे करो माने प्रेजेंट करो लिंक दे देथे कारण एठी जो माने बसिबे से मानदर एठी डायरेक्ट होले जो माने सेठी बसिबे से माने जो लाइव
or else what best you can do is I have floated the content on the Google Classroom okay so they can look into that
they will not do if you will be doing parallelly they can see and listen that can be possible
बाकी लोग नीचे
हाँ हाँ ये बोल देंगे नहीं ऐसा सब समझ नहीं ऐसा इतनी नहीं है उसमें फास्ट एडिट नहीं ऐसा
then it will be good for Google Meet
Google Meet will be better then we can transmit that
ओके we will do that हाँ राजा जी अपन बसंत आज पार्टिसिपेट करिए
मोबाइल वीडियो से
अच्छा anyway if they can look this
I think हाँ उधर yes भला मैं आर कैमरा चेंज कर लिया नहीं कैमरा तो ठीक है
क्या ठीक है
सर क्लियर आस्ते ता पे का बहुत क्लियर आस्ते
हां देखिए इधर बोर्ड में प्रेजेंटेशन का कॉपी है देखिए
हैंड्स ऑन प्रैक्टिस जो
practically he will do from tomorrow today theory
Today, after afternoon, we will design the network part. Okay?
Yes.
Design the network. Yes,
Sir, I hope it is visible, sir. And the PPT will be better visible.
अच्छा इसको कनेक्ट कीजिए
City connect करता है.
HDMI केबल
HDMI cable.
अगर का सेट अच्छा.
उसको बाद में पढ़ के समझ सकते हैं ना, क्योंकि हमें ड्यूटी में है एग्जाम में, तो
नहीं समझे तो सर
देख के घूमने के लिए
मेरे साथ कांटेक्ट कर लीजिएगा
कार्ड
हार्ड तो
I will be sharing the details.
नंबर दे दो
Phone number I will share. The phone number ले ऐसे यहाँ देखो.
सर इसमें कंसल्टिंग का काम कर सकते हैं ना,
इधर कौन अरे हाँ.
हाँ इधर दीजिए you put it there I will have a ये
शायद से मैं.
वो है
समझ सकते.
इसमें आपको एक बात बताएं फ्रेंकली मैं आपको बताऊं बैठिए अरे प्लीज लो
राक्षस हो.
इसमें काम करने के लिए लोग ही नहीं है AI चैट जीपीटी यही चल रहा है आई एम टेलिंग यू इसमें काम करने के लिए लोग ही हैं। अगर आप लोगों को ले लेंगे ना एक कंपनी सेटअप कर लेंगे और थोड़ा बहुत आप एक दो लॉयर को रखिए यंग लॉयर इसका मार्केट में डिमांड हो
सर एक मोटा डाउनलोड
No, no. आओ दरकार के सब तो.
नहीं सर एक होता है ना मोबाइल से
एक काम करे ये स्क्रीन को इधर घुमा दीजिए इसको तो जरूरत नहीं है ना ये स्क्रीन को घुमा दीजिए और पूरा फोकस कर लेगा स्क्रीन मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ समझ रहे हैं?
आपके गुच्छे दे सकते. अरे गाड़ी असले हेल्प करो.
क्लासेस
ऐसा कल 5 डिजाइन चलेगी. हमें भी ऑनलाइन में ईमेल दे दो. सर काली पार्लर है सर.
उसके साथ लॉक है चक्का में लॉक है
बीटा रोड में बड़ा क्वालिटी शास्त्र कला बोर्ड से शास्त्रों के लिए
वो लॉक
एक्सपोर्ट में सीखा था. ऑल ओवर इंडिया चैलेंज से काम हो रही है.
गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया
हाँ
सर्टिफिकेट वैल्यू है
हाँ सर तो करेंगे
सर्टिफिकेट से
हाँ 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 हाँ
कंपनी मैंने करे
हाँ
देखो ये करिए आईटी कंपनी में तो ये होगा
हाँ अरे तुम झिया गला कर तुम हॉस्टल रोज है
स्टेप बाय स्टेप कंप्यूटर हो
से पर करिए प्रैक्टिकल को स्टार्ट है पढ़े सब साइन पे आगे ऑटोनॉमस स्टार्ट हो सर
और आगे जाए
इनका कोर्स में
हां हां जल्दी आगे से पढ़े ऐसे बेटा मैं दी तरह स्टार्ट करता हूं तो फैक्टर स्टार्ट करता हूं
क्लास
हां मैं 2:30 स्टार्ट करता हूं
वो जो होगा कैमरा
लिंक की काम पूरा करके बनाना है
ओके वेलकम एटा फाइल
इसको दिख ही नहीं रहा
एटा जी ऑटोमेटिक
ये पूरा फाइल
नहीं कैन यू कनेक्ट वन मोर कैमरा ना
यस क्या एटा लागला बोली सुन डिटेल कर
एटा को कोनो
ना ना गोटे डिटेल गोटे ना गोटे यूज करियो एटा कोन ये हेई परियो तापर आउट पाइप था बोले
सर फाइव
अनदर पाइप वाज देयर ना
सर एटा
हाँ 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 तापर टाइट करले से যদি সেটা উপরে ফোকাস করে লাগবে অসুবিধা নেই
सर एटा एटा हबो माने एटा पूरा व्हाइट আছে
সে পর না গোটা স্ক্রিন ডাউন সে সার্ভে স্ক্রিন ডাউন সে আসলে কনেক্টর গোটা গোটা প্লেস ডাউন जो गोटा प्लेस डाउन हाँ से प्लेस डाउन हाँ सर ना पूरा व्हाइट है प्लेस कर लो सब ये खड़ा हो रहा है हेलो हेलो
स्लाइड्स ऑफ ब्लैक
हेलो ना फोकस कर पारुनी जोड़े से आउट कर से हां लेट इट बी लाइक दैट आउट से सपोर्ट अरे यूएसबी तो ओके लेट अस कनेक्ट टू यूएसबी बढ़ जाओ सपोर्ट टा सफिशिएंट टाइम
I think. Can you connect it?
सेलेक्टेड
Change the USB, change the camera.
कैमरा हाँ कैमरा केवल गोटे आसला कैमरा
ओके सर
ना कैमरा दीदा
स्क्रीन शेयर नहीं कर सकते नहीं यूट्यूब में स्क्रीन शेयर कर सकते
यूट्यूब
कैन यू शेयर द स्क्रीन ऑन यूट्यूब
नहीं पता सर मुझे
ना स्ट्रीमिंग है
हम भीतर काहू जणा अछि
आसो वीडियो कम शेयर करो
सर शेयर स्क्रीन रे माने एइथरे त रखिया पड़ियो सर सब जगह एइथे रखिया पड़ियो
यूट्यूब सर एटू प्रेजेंट करेंगे
आगे सर एडी चैलेंज
शेयर so sharing is available but we have to present here also
हाँ तो प्रेजेंटेशन ये है मेरे पास पेन ड्राइव है पेन ड्राइव लीजिए शेयर कर
शेयर स्क्रीन होला एडी गूगल मीट वाला एडी अछि मु देखुଥିଲି से वेबकैम ला एटा केमते एक्सेस न बजे नउनी मु एटा डिसेबल करले तब
हाँ इट शेयर कर दो এটা यूट्यूब আছে না
आगे सर
হ্যাঁ
चेक करो
हाँ है आई हैव
मतलब से लोग वालों डाको ना सब फेल है विश्वास नहीं करो ना आसवा दे
शेयर होनी
और सब वाले कैसे apa kita address itu kan kok kita lakukan dulu kan ini boleh khas ଆଉ ଲୋକଟା କିଏ ଆଉ
ହେଲା sir
ଏଇଟା କାଟିଦେଲେ
କୋଉଟା କାଟିଲେ
ଏଇଟା ଟୋଟାଲ ମିନିମାଇଜ କରିଦେଲେ ଇଏ କଟିଯିବ।
sir ଦେଖିଲେ ଆପଣ ଦେଖୁଛନ୍ତି
ତାହେଲେ ଠିକ ଥିବ ଦେଖିବ ଠିକ ଅଛି ନା ଗୋଟେ ସ୍କ୍ରିନ୍ ଆସୁଛି
କ୍ୟାମେରା
ଠିକ ଆସୁଛି
हाँ can I insert this ना
ତ ତାହେଲେ ଏଟା ସେୟାର କରିଦଉଛି
one
सर ये तो फिर ये हटा दीजिए ना जो वेबकैम वाला हटा दीजिए
नहीं रहने दीजिए ये है ना
हाँ सही में काढ़ी दियो काहे रखिए
हाँ कनेक्ट हुआ ओपन साइबर सिक्योरिटी 2020 हाँ सब लेके चला पेन ड्राइव केबल
बैग also everything is there
So shall we start then?
yes sir
इसको कैसे स्ट्रीम करना थोड़ा कर दीजिए
सर हो गया स्ट्रीम
ऑनलाइन
अच्छा So good morning everybody. I am thankful that I have but इधर तो नहीं आएगा ना they cannot see the presentation
how they can see মানে American
can you see this connect that in YouTube
हाँ মানে सेटी YouTube टा को खोल दिया ना
channel को open कर
अपना चैनल में एसके जे
ग्रुप में सारे इम्पोर्टेंट तो चैनल लागा जो अपडेट नंबर है अच्छा हम तो वेट कर जो तब ऐसे स्टार्ट करेंगे ऐसा ତମେ ତ କାଲି ଆସିଥିଲା ଆଜି ମୁଁ ଆସିଲା ବୋଧେ ଆଟଲାସ ପଢୁଛି ମୁଁ ସବୁ ମନେ ରଖୁଛି ତୁ ତ ଜାଣିପାରିଲ ନା ଆଗରେ ବସ ଏଇଠି ବସ ତମେ ଜାଣିପାରୁଛ ସର୍ଚ୍ଚ ଥାଏ ନା କେମିତି ସର୍ଚ୍ଚ କରି ୟୁଟ୍ୟୁବ ଜାଣିପାରିଲ लाइव आसुची आसला ना
वो हो जाएगा It is connected to this one, this one. नहीं ये डुप्लीकेट ही रहती है एक्सटेंड करने समय नहीं आएगा
सेकंड स्क्रीन करने से पूरा ये कोडिंग कंट्रोल आ जाएगा सर
अरे इतने कौन ऑपरेट कर
Maximum. Duplicate करना, not select, duplicate, not extend. इसके बाद आप उसका इसको मैक्सिमाइज करते हैं, मैक्सिमाइज करते हैं. So clear? So I hope the other side can listen it. Slow है थोड़ा.
Can any online participant respond?
Connectivity का issue है.
Somebody can say yes if it is audible. So I get telling it is audible. We want to listen your voice. Please somebody tell yes. So no audio is going here. Oh, this is also this is YouTube, na? This is not Google Meet. Huh? Sir, this is YouTube, so we cannot still listen then. Right? Yes. No. What we cannot listen? Yes. Okay, fine. Thank you.
But what it is, it is listening to this channel, but it is not coming.
Oh, that is not running.
अच्छा pause हो गई है ना.
हाँ. Sir, all of them are telling yes, so now it is correctly working.
So today we will be discussing about the basics of information security. Okay. उसको ये कर दिया. Okay. In modern era of computer and information communication technology, we say ICT, the information security is a key concern. Why? Let me tell you. Because while design of the internet happened during early 70s and 80s, people have not thought that this internet will actually become a major way of communication and business processing. Let us take an example. Some 20 years back, sir, you remember when you are filing internet income tax return, you have to file it on paper and then go and submit it. Today, because of this application of IT application, you can put all your information there, file it, and previously it was you have to sign and mail it a copy to the income tax return. Now also through Aadhaar verified, it has happened that you need not to send. Very recently, I have bought a car. Now the bank people, the SBI people told me that sir, today can you do the loan agreement? I said I am in the office, I cannot come to your place. And your branch is around 20 kilometers away from my office place. No, sir, you need not to come. I said फिर कैसे होगा भाई, मुझे तो साइन करना पड़ेगा. No, sir, you sign it through digital sign through Aadhaar authentication. I said, is it acceptable? Yeah. And he immediately disbursed the loan by email. So because now what has actually happened is because of all these things, because of the financial products on the internet, because of the e-commerce on the internet, because of the all data related to individual personal identifiable information on the internet, the security is at most the concern. Now, internet and application related to the internet, they are also evolving. So previously, the way you are doing internet banking and now you are doing internet banking, those are different. There has been a paradigm shift from internet banking in previous one and now. Now you have mobile banking system. Now mobile, unless and until you have your registered mobile number SIM in that mobile, you cannot do a mobile banking. So somehow or the other, now the thing is that we need to protect our digital resources that are locally available and are communicated through digital media like internet and VPN. So what is our resources? The personal identifiable information is this. Out of every resources you find, your computer, your application, your program, your software, the most important resource is your data. You have to keep in mind, the most important resource is your data. You are not concerned that what server Google is maintaining. You are concerned about your first Gmail. Is it available? Can I download the first Gmail I wrote to my friend? So that is the most important thing. Is the data is the most important thing. And for this data and information, we are following the security protocols for your protecting those data and information. What is the issue? The issue of information security comes as modern networks and communication media like internet and such other have security loopholes. What are loopholes? Loopholes are termed as your vulnerabilities. Vulnerabilities means the limitation, the shortcomings of any program. If you have vulnerabilities, there is a beautiful picture of vulnerabilities, threats, risk and asset. What is your asset? Asset means sampad. Your data is your asset. Your Aadhaar number is your asset. Your PAN number is your asset. Your bank account number is your asset. These are all information, but they are your asset. So when you log into internet and find that you have some 10,000 rupees in your bank account, what is that? That's a piece of information. You cannot count that money physically. But you are assured that your bank is having some 10,000 rupees as balance. So that's this information of 10,000 rupees is basically an asset for you. So you have to keep in mind that the malicious people across the globe connected through the internet will try to siphon out those informations which are there. These loopholes or these vulnerabilities siphon out data and information that are critical and lead to privacy concerns. The consequence lead to privacy compromise, loss of critical information, loss of critical infrastructure, and subsequent loss of human life and property. Now the question arises, immediately you will ask me a question, sir, what is critical infrastructure? What is critical infrastructure? Anybody of you have any idea? See, all of you have taken your COVID vaccine. Either it is COVID-shield or vaccine, something you have taken. Now the point is that, what is the proof that you have taken that vaccine? Where is the certificate available? Where is the certificate available? If you have to prove me that, sir, I have taken that COVID shield, where is the certificate available? It is in covid.gov.in. So, if I can tamper off, I am not going to do that, but if I can tamper off that site, if I can bring down that site, where I am actually hitting, kahan pe chot kar rahe, where I am hitting actually, you have to understand. And what is my advantage or what is my benefit out of doing that? You have to understand this, first of all. See, there are 140 crore people across India, out out of that, say 90-95% people have taken vaccine for COVID-19. If I can bring down that system through cyber crime, what is the impact of that? You understand? Sometimes, are you getting the impact of that? The impact will be devastating. It will be severe. Why I am telling you, it is an impact on the country's sovereignty, it is an impact on the national security. So, can I consider that as a critical infrastructure? Now, the funny thing is, where is cowin.gov.in hosted? Do you have any idea? When you download a certificate, you get a tagline for that. It is on the Amazon cloud. It's on the cloud infrastructure, not on any server. Got the point? So, if I can bring down that site, और कुछ नहीं है आपके पास, cowin.gov.in, उसी में सब है. Now it has been uploaded in the cloud infrastructure, and the thing is that if I can bring down that system, it is creating a chaos in entire India. National disaster हो जाएगा. So that's a critical infrastructure. What I'm trying to say to you is that critical infrastructure is not that it will be physically available, it may be available in the cloud also, but it's a critical infrastructure. Now, coming to the next critical infrastructure is your state data center. If I can bring down the state data center, for 2 hours, the government of Odisha will have crores of rupees loss. The state data center is responsible for all the transaction that is having through land purchase deed and other thing. Your what you say, आपका खजना और क्या बोलते हैं, खजना बोलते हैं ना, खजना revenue, then your vehicle registration, then your state GST, then your Afghani means excise for liquor and other thing. Okay, then your VAT for petrol. If I can bring down that site, I will not do that. If somebody brings down that site, then see what is the amount of impact it is creating. It is creating a majority impact on the government infrastructure. So those infrastructure, whether on in-premise or on cloud, if they are tampered or if they are bring down, and it creates a chaos whose incapacity means which failure will lead to succumbing to a external pressure by a state government or a government of a province or a central government or some other organization. Those infrastructure, whether in-premise or on cloud, are known as critical infrastructure. Means critical infrastructure, let me take an example of ATC, air traffic control. In India, there are 4 ATC actually working. Calcutta, Mumbai, Delhi and Chennai. And you will be surprised to know the ATC of Calcutta looks from it starts from looking from your that is Banaras, and it looks up to Andaman Nicobar and beyond that. If I can bring down that, see in any sky, if you see right now, if you open up planefinder.net, you can say there are above India sky there will be some 2,000, 3,000 planes they are flying. Maybe in the eastern region there are 1,000 or 900 planes. They will collide with each other. They will collide with each other. So that's a critical infrastructure, ATC. Now, these are, so critical infrastructure are those infrastructure whose incapacity will lead to a chaos and will be a devastating for human life and property. Okay. In order to prevent security, in order to prevent all these untoward incidents in our day-to-day activity, we can have certain measures that can be termed as implementation of security measure or compliance of the security protocol. Setting up of an appropriate security policy, creation of a security framework, technological implementation, backup and recovery mechanism, and proactive security measure to combat security breach. Now let us take a very beautiful example of a proactive security measure. So you have one credit card from SBI, and on your first anniversary you want to buy a gold ring for your wife. Now gold is very costly. Say for a ring you have to spend some 60, 70 or 80,000 rupees. You have enough credit limit for that. You swipe it. Now as soon as you try to do a transaction, one phone call will come. You have given PIN, everything is okay, but the one phone call will come. And this is an automated call asking you for a confirmation of a transaction. So if you are doing this transaction, press 1 or press 2. So you have to press 1 in the phone to confirm that. This is a proactive security measure to combat security breach. The credit card organization is actually calling you on your registered mobile to get assured that you are the real person who is trying to perform that transaction. For all the transactions on foreign, especially for your publication charges in journal or in registration fee for conferences, as they are in dollar, so they always follow this procedure. So this is an example of proactive security measure to combat security breach. Another thing is that what happened in that in US and in European country, you won't find there is somebody who is there in the pump to fill your petrol. So all machines are there, you have to automatically fill the petrol. For that purpose, you put your credit card on the machine. So after the filling is over, the credit card will, the amount will be deducted from the credit card and will be given back to you. Now, if somebody is on a single day is filling repeatedly some cars, then after some time it will stop the transaction. It looks into your profile. If you go into your credit card management system, you'll find that there is a profile in that. So it looks into your profile and check what is your actual way, general way of doing a transaction. If it varies, if it is a difference with that, it will automatically stop that. Coming to the backup and recovery mechanism, how many of you stores your information on Google Drive or something like that? Or how many of you regularly keep backup of your information? We generally don't do, but we should do that. Okay. Technological implementation. Now, you will be in the next presentation, probably tomorrow, you will be seeing that when I will be discussing about network infrastructure security, there are two stambho or two pillars of cyber security. One is the technological implementation and one is the strategy. Technological implementation is available to you. Whether you will incorporate that is your strategic decision. Whether you will incorporate that is your strategic decision. आपके घर में दरवाजे पे कुंडी है, कुंडी पे ताला लगाने का ये है। अभी आप बाहर जाने के लिए ताला लगाएंगे कि नहीं लगाएंगे, ये आपका डिसीजन है। That's a strategic decision. But kundi nahi hai, तो आप ताला नहीं लगा सकते. Got the point? So kundi is the technology. Tala is the technology. And whether you will apply it or not is your strategy. Am I clear to that? So here also, when I am talking of the technological implementation, that depends, why I am going from top to bottom, that depends, when I am talking of the technological implementation, that depends on your strategy. Now how, from where the strategy comes, that's the next point. From where the strategy is going to come. The strategy is coming from the creation of the framework. See, I will tell you, recently if you go to bank, any bank, every bank, whenever you are doing a transaction, the clerical staff or the officer who is sitting at the counter in single window, he has to every time give his biometric through finger. Because failing which the transaction will not take. So the framework is that for every transaction, for every single transaction, he has to use his biometric. This is a strategy given in the framework. And the technology is using of biometric. Am I clear? Okay. Coming to this, setting up of an appropriate security policy. So in order to create this framework, you should have a set of security policies that will be implemented. Now the policies can be implemented in your firewall devices, the policies can be implemented in your end user machine, the policies can be implemented in your application software. It's not that one point you are implementing the policy and other point you are leaving out. आपको हर जगह on every appropriate places you have to implement the policy. Are you getting my point? Attack and nature of the attack. In order to intensify attacks on the public installation and hack critical information, the malicious people or group have applied these attacks. See, every place na, you have to be very optimized. यहाँ नौकरी में आपको इधर से निकलने के बाद अगर मान लीजिए, I think many of you are students, scholars. So you are all scholars, students. So when you are going out and joining a corporate office, you have to be very particular on your dress code. You have to be very particular on your how you speak. You have to be very particular. So these are all optimization. ये चोरी के जमाने में भी, चोरी का बाजार में भी optimization है. You will say, sir, what are you speaking? But this is true. That means in the world of hacking also, you have to be very particular. And let me tell you, there are certain attacks which are sponsored by states. Like देखिएगा, कभी भी हमारा बैंकिंग इंस्टॉलेशन का कुछ चोरी हो जाता है, responsible है चाइना, responsible होगा पाकिस्तान. So they are state-sponsored attacks. I'm not saying that every time China and Pakistan is doing, but I'm telling you that there are certain people who are sitting in some other countries and attacking. So, automating the attacks you can do it manually. But the idea is that attack as many as installation you can attack, from as many as different IP addresses and location you can attack, so that the victim becomes compromised because of the confusion. Okay. The victim becomes compromised because of the confusion. Hacking privacy by collecting personal identifiable information. I was telling that पहले आपसे पूछेगा, सर आपका मोबाइल नंबर और आपको मिला है. So every time you go to the mall, I don't say that they are doing, but there is a chance. Every time you go to the mall, so there are some people who are standing with some cheat paper. Sir, आपका मोबाइल नंबर और नाम बता दीजिए. So we easily. नेक्स्ट टाइम इज दैट आफ्टर सम डेज यू विल गेट दैट सर आप उस दिन मॉल पे आए थे, आपको एक गिफ्ट आया है, आप बताइए गिफ्ट किधर भेजना है, सो यू गिव द एड्रेस. After that, when some gift reaches your home, you have been asked to show some ID, so you open up your Aadhaar card or PAN card and they take a photograph. So slowly and slowly they are gaining your personal identifiable information, and it is as per the policy of the attack. It is as per the policy of the attack. Attack designed and deployed from a distant geographical location, maybe from the other countries. अभी मेहुल चौस्की, हाँ, और कौन कौन है इधर से पैसा वैसा लेके ऐसा कंट्री में चला जाता है जहां इंडिया के पास एक्स्ट्राडिशन ट्रीटी. सो इंडिया कैन नॉट टेक देम बैक फॉर प्रोसिक्यूटिंग दोस पीपल. दे नो दिस पीपल. These are the loopholes of the system. These are the loopholes of the law. They exploit that loopholes and gain personal things. Okay. So this is attack and nature of the attack. Security approaches. There are three things which you have to understand: that a trusted system, a security model, and security management practices. Okay. What is a trusted system? What is a trusted system? आप जिंदगी में किनको ट्रस्ट करते हैं? Nobody you trust. मम्मी पापा को. बाद में शादी हो जाएगा तो वाइफ को करते हैं. Huh? That is not correct. Yeah, I'm not getting it. Really?
They are not married, that is why they do not
Okay, जो भी हो, after marriage you always trust, or else you will get trouble. बट आप कैसे मानेंगे कि एक ट्रस्टेड सिस्टम है? व्हाट इज द डेफिनेशन ऑफ ए ट्रस्टेड सिस्टम? अच्छा, फाइन. और कोई एनी अदर सिस्टम इज नॉट वल्नरेबल. ओके, let us see the example of the trusted system. A trusted system, I'm talking about the computer, not the human life. A trusted system is a computer system or a server or an application that can be trusted to a specific extent or level, so that specific security policy can be enforced on them. Okay. A trusted system is normally used in military application. However, these days, trusted systems play a vital role in financial and banking system, e-commerce system, e-governance system, and many such applications. It is normally expected that a trusted system will perform the following characteristics. So, before talking about the trusted system, how many of you do UPI transactions? All. Do you think that UPI system or UPI transaction is done through a trusted system? How come? Yes to बोल दिया. How come? How will you believe that an UPI transaction you are doing with your mobile phone is being done by a trusted system? How will you trust that? Can you do a transaction of UPI through your computer system? नहीं कर सकते. नहीं कर सकते। आप करके देखिए। Can anybody of you have done any transaction of UPI through computer system, not through mobile? नहीं कर सकते। हाँ बोलिए।
हम तो उसको पेमेंट करते हैं जो एप्लीकेशन डालते हैं गवर्नमेंट साइट में जो एप्लीकेशन डालते हैं जॉब के लिए उस टाइम पे तो हम लोग पेमेंट करते हैं वहाँ पे यूपीआई के
Correct. एक मिनट, correct, you are right. But how do you do that transaction? Without the mobile, can you do that? You cannot do that. Now, what is the trust factor in that UPI transaction? I am taking a common example of this. What is the trust factor in that UPI transaction? कौन सा trust factor है? बताइए।
That can be done in my mobile.
That can be done in anybody's mobile phone, provided what is the condition that you require? Same, correct. आप किसी भी यूपीआई ट्रांजैक्शन में सब रेडी करके आप रजिस्टर वगैरह करके सिर्फ ट्रांजैक्शन का बस सिम निकाल दीजिए। देखिए नहीं, that's why when I'm talking about trusted system, a trusted system is a computer system server on an application. UPI is an application like Beam or any other app. आप बोलते हैं app means application, okay? That can be trusted to a specific extent or level so that specific security policies can be enforced. Now, can there be a breach of security in UPI transaction? Yes or no? How many of you say yes and how many of you say no? How many of you say yes? Only 2 say yes. आप क्या बोलते हैं सर? No. The answer to this is, मतलब आप बोल रहे हैं कि इसमें ब्रीच नहीं हो सकता, हो सकता, और आप बोल रहे हैं ब्रीच नहीं हो सकता है, but there is one specific condition. If there is a SIM swap, then it can be breached. Now, what is a SIM swap? It's a crime. See, most of the mobile phone, they require a physical SIM to be inserted. It can be a normal SIM, it can be a micro SIM, it can be a nano SIM. Okay. But there are certain phones like iPhone or a series of Galaxy phones or some of like OnePlus 50 or something like that. There are certain phones which have eSIM. The eSIM, there is no physical SIM. आप जब SIM लेने जाते हैं ना, देखिएगा उनके पीछे QR कोड है, उसको स्कैन कर लेंगे, उसी से वो चलेगा. So for eSIM, now by some trick, I can convince Jaising sir to share the QR code of eSIM and I can copy it in my phone, and then my UPI starts, or Jaising sir UPI starts working on my phone. So there is one condition that can happen. Now it was happening somehow or the other. So what the government decided that once there is a SIM upgrade, whether from physical SIM to eSIM or from physical SIM to physical SIM, हो सकता है SIM destroy हो गया, SIM काम नहीं कर रहा, for the next 24 hours there will be no SMS, no UPI transactions. इसको रोकने के लिए गवर्नमेंट ने ऐसा किया. So we can say that my UPI system or UPI application is a trusted system to a specific extent or level, so that the security policies, now the security policies have been implemented to run the UPI transaction and they have been audited. ऐसे ही करेंगे, इसी प्रोसेस को फॉलो करेंगे तब ये सिस्टम सिक्योर रहेगा. Okay, if you follow this procedure, then only the system will remain secure. There may be some aberration, but don't consider that. So that's why, so that specific security policies can be enforced. A trusted system is normally used in military application. However, these days, the trusted system play a vital role in finance and banking system, e-commerce, e-governance, and many such applications. It is normally expected that a trusted system will perform the following characteristics. It should be tamper-proof, it should be evoked, it should be small enough so that it can be independent. So your UPI transaction, it should be tamper-proof, it should be evoked. मतलब आप उसको करेंगे तभी होगा. Now for any UPI transaction to receive money, you don't need to give OTP or you don't need to give any PIN or something. Just for sending the money, what somebody said now for online application, you pay the money to UPI. There you have to approve your transaction by putting that UPI PIN for that particular bank. So this is a trusted system. Security models. Coming to next is the security model. One is that we have no security. हमको मालूम है there is no security. Security through obscurity. Obscurity मतलब ठीक है. आपको मालूम है how these agents, raw agents or Mossad or many people, how they communicate with among these agents. आपको मालूम है कैसे करते हैं? Because they are in foreign soil. So foreign soil, if they use mobile phone or if they use some other kind of device or communication, that can be done. Because the foreign government can always keep a tap on them. What is the way they are doing that transaction? Huh?
Traditional method.
What is that traditional method?
Physical message. Physical message.
कैसा बोलिए? For example,
जैसे कि हम pigeons के थ्रू जो मैसेज पास करते हैं,
पिजन्स को पकड़ लेंगे पुलिस वाले, उस कंट्री का पुलिस और लॉ एनफोर्समेंट एजेंसी पिजन को पकड़ लेंगे.
Some code language.
कोड लैंग्वेज करें, बट कोड लैंग्वेज तो लैंग्वेज है. हाउ डू दे कम्युनिकेट? वॉकी टॉकी पकड़ा जाएगा, इट कैन बी हर्ड. कैसा सिग्नल? नो इलेक्ट्रॉनिक कम्युनिकेशन. In some part of the city, maybe in the dump khana, जिधर आप कूड़ादान डालते हैं ना जाके, there they take a small wall to write through the coded language. Very savvy place, nobody goes there. Only they know that.
agent can communicate with each other by that way.
Agent can communicate through dark web also. तो dark web में भी दो लोग बैठे हैं ना. अच्छा ये इसको कैसे सिलेक्ट करते हैं? नहीं ये है, ये इधर से इसको सिलेक्ट करना पड़ेगा. नहीं मैक्सिमाइज करने से नहीं होता. इधर देखिए कौन सा ओके आगे आगे को शेयर कर दें।
से जो लाइव होचे से क्लिक करते हैं सपोर्ट सेंटर लाइव चैनल होंगे
ओके आइए। It takes some time. आप इधर स्क्रीन शेयरिंग दिए ना?
हाँ सर, दिया था मैंने।
इधर आ वो नहीं आ
रवि आया देख।
नहीं, उसमें कुछ सिस्टम नहीं है, प्रॉब्लम नहीं है उसमें, कुछ प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। ये स्क्रीन नहीं शेयर होता है।
तो
नहीं, विंडोज नहीं शेयर करना है सर।
सर अभी तक हाँ सर,
कहाँ से शेयर करना है?
यहाँ पे हो गया सर अभी तक। सर इंटरेस्टिंग।
Okay. So whenever you are doing security for obscurity, आपको मालूम नहीं कि सिक्योरिटी है, दूसरों को पता नहीं चल रहा, लेकिन आपको मालूम है कि सिक्योरिटी है. So that is hiding the things. Then the host security, third point is, and finally the network security. Okay, so these are the four models of security. Security management practices. In a good organization, good security management practices is implemented using well-accepted security policy. Well-accepted security policy and its proper implementation to ensure adequate management practices takes care of the four key aspects: affordability, functionality, cultural issue, and legal issue. Okay. What is affordability? See, for there is management में कितने लोग हैं? How many of you are from management? No, nobody is from. There is a famous word in management called there is no free lunch. कुछ भी free available नहीं है. Somebody is paying for that. Okay, so every security practices, every security policies you want to implement has to be have a cost of that. It is to be functional. हम बहुत सारा सिक्योरिटी लगा दिया, पता चला आपका घर में गाड़ी नहीं घुसता है, मान लीजिए आपका घर में इतने जगह नहीं कि गाड़ी घुसता है, लेकिन आप एक बूम बैरियर लगा दिए गाड़ी पे, सबको अपने फ्रेंड्स को स्पीकर दे दिए, जब तुम मेरे घर में आओगे तो ऑटोमेटिक लेकिन गाड़ी घुसता है। So that is functional health in English. If I am implementing some policy, whether that is functional or not, that's very important. Cultural issue, whether it is creating problem for the cultural issue or not. And is there any legal issue? Like you cannot take somebody's picture and put it in the website unless and until they allow you to do it. That's a legal issue. Security management practices ensures that the policy is explained to one and everybody in the organization. Responsibility of the individual concerned. Unambiguous communication in simple and local language. मुझे तो पता ही नहीं चला सर इंग्लिश में लिखा, इंग्लिश में नहीं पता, उड़िया में बताइए। Accountability, ऐसा आप किए तो, ऐसा आप फॉलो नहीं किए तो आप पे क्या क्या हो सकता है, आप पे जुर्माना हो सकता है, ओके, आपको सस्पेंड किया जा सकता है। रिवीजन फॉर एक्सेप्शन, प्रोविजन फॉर एक्सेप्शन, सॉरी, प्रोविजन फॉर एक्सेप्शन का मतलब है कि देयर में बी सम ऑफ केस, जैसे कोई भी आपके इंस्टीट्यूट में आता है तो उनके लिए वो रजिस्टर में एंट्री करना मैंडेटरी, लेकिन गवर्नर आया तो क्या आप रजिस्टर में एंट्री करने के लिए, सो देयर शुड बी सम एक्सेप्शन एंड पीरियोडिक रिव्यू। ऐसा नहीं कि एक बार सिक्योरिटी पॉलिसी लगा दिया घोड़ा बेच के सो गया, ऐसा नहीं। For every 6 months you should review. Okay. So these are the points which has to be taken care while doing this. So this comes to the end of this first presentation on basics of information security. I don't know how to ask question. Do you have any question? If they have any question on YouTube, you can raise or you can type in the YouTube. I can answer that. Anybody is interested to ask question on the YouTube also, you can say that. Why people are crying here?
So one question one participant had
Yeah.
asked.
Yes, sir. बोलिए.
Sir, if my if my SIM is deactivated, is it possible to do the transaction by hotspot?
SIM is deactivated.
The previous one.
No. No, let me tell you that if your SIM has been deactivated, for UPI transaction you cannot do it through WhatsApp. Only thing is that you can do the transaction by sending the data through the Wi-Fi, but at the same time the SIM has to be active and should be connected to the device. आप खुद करके देखिए, you can try with that. You take out the SIM and try to do the transaction, you will not be able to do that. Any other question?
So somebody had asked like this, what is dark web? Is it related to this?
Yeah. What is dark web? See, dark web is basically a part of the internet where most of the people are doing some crime and other things. That is the thing. It's a part of the internet. It's not outside the internet. Only thing is that the people are, so there are specific domains where the people are getting involved. और इसका एक मतलब let me tell you that इसका एक provision है. See, there are certain apps, there are certain dating apps also. ये dating app से भी शुरू होता है. Okay, dating app. Then there are certain apps which is related to your sexual activities and some kind of things like that. And actually वहाँ से start होता है. And there are some gaming apps also. There are certain online games also. Online game उनका front face है. Behind में उनका जो members है वो behind में वो चलाते हैं. And it is not that the internet is responsible. क्या हो गया इसको? इसका बैटरी जो है ना इस टोटली गॉन. आधा घंटा 1 घंटा ही बैठा.
Sir, one more question to ask.
Yes, sir.
Can we solve or performing any attack by any browser or only by your browser?
Tor browser, correct. See, there are certain things which you can definitely do. Only thing is that how skilled you are, that is the most important point. Like you can do with Tor browser, you can do that. So there are certain things which you can do definitely. But how skilled you are, that all depends on that thing.
Similarly, another question has come. There are many safety in the systems. Then why a hacker can hack or enter into the system? And how a hacker can hack or enter into the system?
Yeah. This is a very important question. There are safety in the system, then why the hacker can hack? Now let us give you an example of this. That's a very good question. In order to plug all the vulnerabilities, while developing the application, you have to spend a huge amount of money. Now you have to have a trade-off between the most commonly used vulnerable, shall I plug all those, or I will go exhaustively for all list of vulnerabilities. Now somebody was asking me when I was giving a lecture on someplace, somebody asked me, why the application they all have intentionally vulnerable circuit? Is it a good practice? I said no. But the reason is that for every thing you do to protect your application, the cost is there. Now let me tell you the example of this. Somehow this Citibank banking application and SBI banking application both were done by the TCS. And if you see the Citibank application or SBI application, they are quite, not exactly, but to a certain extent, it's a replica of application. But previously, the SBI was not having OTP for every transaction, but the Citibank was having. Now the question arises, when you go and try to open up a bank account in SBI, you spend 1,000 rupees. और अभी तो जीरो बैलेंस अकाउंट भी लोग खोलते हैं. But If you go to a Citibank, now Citibank has been sold to Axis Bank in India, but other places, if you go to Citibank, the minimum amount is 1 lakh. Yeah. Previously it was 25,000, now you have to open up with minimum balance has to be kept in terms of fixed deposits, receipts or anything up to 1 lakh. Now try to understand the point. Citibank is a bank of a different profile. So all the vulnerabilities for them it is easy to plug because it has got cost. It has got cost for that. So while developing the application, I am telling to those people who are online, while developing the application, you need to understand that what will be the cost implication. That has to be affordable. That's why I have said in the presentation that the system or the policy has to be affordable. Nothing is free, sir. It requires money. And say for Citibank, there may be some 2 lakh people who are having account in India. But for the State Bank, there are out of 140 crore, 75% of the people are having account in State Bank. So the management and the number of OTPs that has to be generated, that has to be kept, that has to be put into the system is an important thing. So you have to make the system functional, affordable, those two things which we have discussed. For this purpose, sometimes certain vulnerabilities which are not of very high severity scale, yesterday I was discussing the severity scale, were kept. And the severe vulnerabilities will be plugged.
So one more question. If we know our phone is hacked, then the parties are first step to protect us or protect our data.
The first step is that you switch off the phone. Lock your SIM. These are the first thing you should do. If your phone is not only hacked, if it is lost also, it is the duty of every citizen of India to lock its SIM, then report it to the police through general diary, and then get a replica of that SIM. That's the most important thing.
One more question. Sir, you mentioned that gaming apps are the face of these activities.
No. I don't say all gaming apps. Some of the gaming apps may be the face of this app.
The question is that are there any examples and any tips we can follow to prevent?
See, what is happening, the gaming app, while some people are opening up gaming app or some YouTube sites, why I will tell you, because they are used by the children, small children. And they install these apps on their parents' phone, which are basically connected for their official activity or maybe connected to their financial transactions. So that's why some of the gaming apps, they are less gaming app and they are more, their idea is to do some kind of fraud. But I don't say that all gaming apps. Gaming app may be a potential threat. They may be using the vulnerability of the mobile to extract it.
So one more question. Sir, hacking सीखने के लिए और एक अच्छा सा हैकर बनने के लिए क्या रोडमैप रहेगा और कितना टाइम लगेगा?
I will not answer it. इसका सवाल का जवाब मैं ऑफिशियली नहीं दे सकता.
You can get the answer on official. Another question, sir, what is the roadmap for becoming a cybersecurity expert?
Yeah, you can take those courses on cyber security. There are some applicable courses on cyber security. And there is a problem. Just becoming a cyber security expert will not do. You should have also knowledge of the law. So those who are really interested in taking the career as a cyber security expert, I will suggest them that you go through a basic law course and then you take a specialized course on cyber law. Because if you want to really become an expert, then you have to be also a lawyer so that you can convict or you can prosecute the accused on the law of court of law. That's the most important thing. So recently, one of my friend, you can say, junior friend, he did his PhD under my guide and mine. And then now he is studying law from Bhadrak. There is one law college. And what is his idea is that he will become a lawyer because his both the in-laws and parents, they are lawyer. Then he want to do a specialized course in cyber law. And he has said that as you are aware of the network, let us do the consultancy. So I said, today you can open up consultancy because you have worked in Tech Mahindra, Mindtree, TCS. He said, no, unless and until I have a law degree, I cannot fight in the court. I cannot prosecute or I cannot legally go for in the court of law. So it is better that not only that you learn cyber security, you also learn the law and get a license to practice. I think Bar Council gives the license.
Sir, another question has got. Sir, yesterday you said that we can get the details of transactions and maybe ATM card apply dates by phone number only. Can you share how they access this information, or are the bank employees might also be involved for this?
Sir, yesterday you said you can get transactions, details of transaction, maybe ATM card, apply dates by phone number only. Can you share how these access information are? Yes, there are, see, I will not blame every bank employee, but what happens, you know, in certain places, this is our socio-economic condition is somehow also responsible. Today, you don't have a full-time work, okay. So you go and do some work in the bank with mere some 20, 30 or 40,000 rupees. And tomorrow when you have been fired out, you are on the verge of starvation. You cannot have your square meal. And as you have access to some critical information in the bank when you are applied or when you are working there, you may use that. You may take a fraudulent path and use that credential to extract. But then this is a crime basically. And see, I will tell you that it's not that a criminal is only responsible for doing the crime. It is the duty of the society also to protect this. I don't say that protect the criminal. Protect, the system should be like that it should be a mechanism that instead of somebody pushing towards crime, there will be some mechanism by virtue of which you should have some alternate way of earning. See, now in every place you have a hire and fire rule. But the society, the person who have been fired, say, every day we are listening that TCS are fired, 30,000 fired, Tech Mahindra is fired. But where they will go? They will be there in our society only. And they have right to live under the Article 21 of our Constitution. Okay, right to live. Right to education, right to live, right to livelihood, earning. So you have to keep. Simply what you are doing is that you are firing somebody You are protecting your profit and other thing, but think about the person. Again, they are going back to the society and then unemployment, and the government has to arrange again some job for them. So, what is the way out? Acha, so shall we go to the next presentation, because
So I think only last question that how can I know that my system on phone is hacked? Is there any sign for that?
so actually, let me tell you that one sign is that if there is a SIM swap fraud, then you should understand that if in your locality, if all services are there, but your phone service is not working, that means that SIM swap fraud has been done.
So how that gets swapped if we are not willing to do that?
Sir, at times what happened, sometimes you unknowingly divulge your information like the email credential or the SIM. And sometimes it may be that somebody have got a control of your phone through some app or something. They put some kind of lobe or some kind of greediness, okay, that you download this app, phone cloning, or they have an access to your phone. So while you are sleeping, your phone is on. So they send a SMS for SIM swap. That converting simply you have to type one thing, the eSIM, then SIM phone number, and send it to some 1950 is the case in case of Vodafone. Now immediately, if a person is having an access to your email account, he will get that QR code. So it is done while you are sleeping. So on the next morning, you find that your phone signal is not there. This happened once in my neighborhood, as I said. Yesterday I was giving the story of that. I stay in a retired colony, and the person, one time it was that West Bengal electricity department they told. Second one is that he was having his primary number from Vodafone, and it was a prepaid SIM. But he was not having connection. Everybody in the locality was having the connection. So that gentleman called me that my phone is not working. So I immediately blocked her and then asked somebody from the Vodafone to come and give a new SIM to them. So that happened.
What is the maximum level of security of a hack secure device?
Maximum level of?
Security.
See, I will tell you one thing. This is, as I said yesterday, there cannot be absolute security. There is always a relative security. So, if you talk that what is the maximum level of security, you cannot say. It's very difficult to estimate. Security systems are always evolving. Why there is a requirement for evolution of this system? Because the security is not static, it is dynamic, it changes with time. The information security, the policies, the protocol, everything changes with time. And there is a technique called posture management. We'll come to that.
One more question. How to create this type of APK files? APK files. How to create this type of APK files?
No, that I don't know. How to create means APK file means Android files, Android application. That has to be. But only thing is that when you are putting some app on the Google platform, Google Play Store, that has to be Google verified. That is the only way. So can I proceed for the next presentation?
Okay, sir, we can proceed for 20 to 30 minutes. Is it?
That I can finish now. It's already 20 to 10.
20 to 30 minutes we can proceed, then we can enter this.
Okay. Now let us see about the principle of security. Now from here actually the thing starts. Okay. There are 6 principles of security. Confidentiality, integrity, availability, authentication, access control, and non-repudiation. You can see some are in blue color, some are in black color. The reason is that these are the 3 principle of security. You got that? These are the 3 principles, PRINCIPL, principles of security. The other are non-principle, you can say. What is confidentiality? ये थोड़ा lag है इसमें. When a center A sends an information to B, then B is the legitimate receiver. Then confidentially specifies that only center A and center B should have the access to the content. If and only if the sender and the receiver of the file is having access to the content of the file, then it is known as the confidentiality of that information has been intact. ऐसा होता है ना सर? Now what happened? I take a crude example, bad example. Jai Singh sir want to send a file to the principal, but बीच में पियोन पड़ गया कौन सा फाइल है? ऐसा हो सकता है? नहीं होगा, क्या लेकिन हो सकता है. That happens. Then peon has access to the information what he has put on the note sheet for principal. वो peon जाके सबको बताएगा जय सिंह सर ने ऐसा एक नोट लिखा. So this is the confidentiality in such situation is lost. यहाँ पावर का प्रॉब्लम है. ये होटल में भी देखा है, 4 बार जा रहा है. You need to have a UPS for this. नहीं सर, विदाउट यूपीएस ना ये आपका सिस्टम पूरा खराब हो जाता है. हाँ, अच्छा ऑनलाइन यूपीएस है ना. कौन सा देना है?
वही को आगे दिया थोड़ा वही है. Yes.
Loss of confidentiality. When loss of confidentiality happens, when a message sent by a sender A to sender B is intercepted by a malicious user C. Blessing sir भेज रहे हैं प्रिंसिपल को. Then there is a loss of confidentiality. This type of attack is known as interception. आप इंफॉर्मेशन को इंटरसेप्ट कर ले रहे. Okay. What is integrity? When a sender A sends a message and it reaches the recipient B without
interception actually interception.
Interception is आप प्रिंसिपल को भेज रहे हैं, मेरे हाथ से भेज रहे हैं, सर आप ये फाइल दे दीजिए. मैं क्या किया, उसमें से फाइल में से पढ़ के इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट नोट करके प्रिंसिपल को दे दिया. I have not changed the content of the message, but I have the access to the content of the message. That is called interception. Intercept किया मैंने in between. When a sender A sends a message to a recipient B and it reaches without modification, then we can say that the integrity of the message during the transmission is intact. Next stage क्या हुआ? जॉयसिंग सर ने एक फाइल बनाया, उसमें 4 पन्ना रखा, उसमें बोला राजीव चटर्जी को रोज 500 रुपया करके देना चाहिए. मैंने जॉयसिंग सर का साइन को फोर्ज किया, फोर्ज करके वो पेपर फाड़ के उसके अंदर 5000 रुपया करके देना चाहिए करके लिख के भेजा. गॉट द पॉइंट? Now the sender of the message have no idea that whether the recipient has received 500 rupees or 5000. Now when the file reaches to principal, उन्होंने इनको बुलाया, क्या राजीव को पकड़ 500 का बात होगा, 5000 लिख के. ये कह सर I have sent it with 500 rupees. So who is the culprit? It is the Rajiv is the culprit who is changing the information. So now is when a message is sent by a sender A to sender B and is intercepted by the malicious user C who changes the consent, intercept किया, intercept मतलब उसका access मिला, who changes the content of the message and forward it to them, there is a loss of integrity. This kind of attack is known as modification. Modification होता है interception के साथ. If the interception is not done, modification cannot be done. Please keep in mind. Availability, when a message sent by a sender A to sender B is intercepted by a malicious user C, when a resource or resources are available to an unauthorized entity, say it can be a person or an application, then we say that it follows the principle of application. Now the file is being sent by Joycing sir to the principal, and as a malicious user, मैंने वो फाइल लिया और आदमी जला. अभी मान लीजिए ये मैडम है, इनको स्कॉलरशिप की पीएचडी करे, स्कॉलरशिप है, मुझे एक पे गुस्सा है, मैंने देखा जयसिंह सर के टेबल को उन्होंने नोट बना के रखा, पूरा का पूरा फाइल मैं ले जाके बाहर चला. ऐसा नहीं करूंगा लेकिन चला. अभी जयसिंह सर को ऐसा वेरीफाई करना, फाइल खो गया, प्रिंसिपल के पास इनका फाइल पहुंचा नहीं, इनको स्कॉलरशिप मिल नहीं रहा है. So ultimately she is the victim and I am the malicious person. So when a resource or resources are available to an unauthorized entity, say to a person or an application, then we say that it follows the principle of availability. Now,
That is so slow.
और वो ढूंढ के आ रहा है ना YouTube ढूंढ के आ रहा है. When a resource, whether a system or an application becomes unavailable due to unauthorized or malicious user in the system, then it is said that principle of availability is defeated, and this kind of attack is known as interruption. पहला है इंटरसेप्शन, दूसरा है मॉडिफिकेशन, थर्ड इज इंटरप्शन. इंटरप्टेड, इंटरसेप्ट किया तो आई हैव द एक्सेस बट आई एम नॉट स्टॉपिंग इट. नाउ this kind of attack is known as interruption, or basically the common type of problem is that denial of service. This is the very important. अब denial of service होने से क्या फायदा है? So in Odisha, government has floated or given a news that on May 5th the PUC or the plus 12 result will be out, and it will be on the site, say madhyamik, uccha madhyamik Odisha, uchchamadhyamik.odisha.gov, or results plus 12 results.odisha.gov. As a malicious user, I want that I should, as an intruder, as a malicious user, I want that I should stop this process. What I will do, I somehow manage to have the IP address of that server or that location, maybe on the cloud, maybe in premise, and flooded with so many orphan packets. So जो legitimate student है आप में से कोई, वो डाल दें, लेकिन उनका डेटा नहीं, सर्विस आउट ऑफ सर्विस वगैरह वगैरह, सर्वर इज डाउन. What is my gain? That may be politically motivated. That may be done from an outside country. बाद में न्यूज़ में आ जाएगा उड़ीसा गवर्नमेंट हैज फेल्ड टू डिलीवर द रिजल्ट ऑन इट्स कमिटेड डे, न्यूज़ में आ जाएगा. So that is a bad reputation to the government or the organization. और उन पे कार्रवाई हो जाएगा. You understand? The person will be responsible. So this is due to defeat of the principle of availability. This goes down. The basic idea is to bring bad name to an organization. कुछ लोग रिजल्ट नहीं निकला, हो सकता है कुछ बच्चे सुसाइड कर लिए कि सर मेरा तो नाम ही नहीं आया, हो सकता है मैं पास नहीं हूँ. So this chaos it goes. Okay. Now looking at it, at any point of time, if the confidentiality or the integrity or the availability is lost, then it is a tripod stand. You can see here, it is a tripod stand. Okay. अभी इसका एक टंगड़ी में तोड़ दिया तो this is a tripod stand. Confidentiality, availability, integrity. अभी इसमें एक भी स्टैंड में निकाल दिया तो it will not be able to stand. So the cyber security is basically standing on 3 feet: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So confidentiality ensures that specific information, sensitive and specific information are accessed only by authorized personnel, and other are kept away. It is implemented using security mechanism using username, password, access control, and encryption. Integrity, it ensures that information are in the format that is true and correct to its original purpose. अभी आपको एक स्टोरी सुना, बहुत सारा स्टोरी है. I was there. My sister was having a vehicle. She purchased in Bangalore. Now she want to transfer the name to, Alipur is a place in Kolkata, where South 24th Pargana district. So I was there, and I had a meeting with the RTO, but RTO was not available. Why? How come this happened? Two vehicles got the same registration. ये सिस्टम में कोई कारचूनी की. It was hacked. Now two vehicles got the same registration number and two vehicles got HSRP plate also if they were fitted. Now how the people or the authority come to know when one of the vehicle owner was prosecuted for violating the red light, and he went to police, Calcutta police, and he said that my vehicle is there parked at my home, I cannot get prosecuted. Now, the thing is that the vehicle was really parked, one of the vehicle was really parked in the campus of flats, this complex, and they were showing it, proving it through the CCTV. And it happens that two vehicles, the owner of two vehicles having the same registration. Very recently also there is an app in Maruti Suzuki, Suzuki Viwas. So what happened? When I booked my vehicle, it was showing it booked, and once the engine number, VIN number is delivered to me, it was coming there. Then after registration, it was not showing in my app. So I raised the question. So somebody else's vehicle, the same street with some other variant, was registration in the app with mine. And it was coming, I don't know how come. Then I raise an alert. So these kind of things are happening.
Okay. But how that could be possible? So two same numbers of the vehicles.
Actually, sir, the motor vehicles people didn't devise that, but it was there. There's two vehicles with same registration number happened. And actually, I'm telling you unofficially because I learned through some agent that the South 24 Parganas here suppose that. You understand? And you explain. Then RTO suppose the India. Oh, lines are changed. And somehow what happened, कि जब उस registration पे application पे वाहन पे दे रहे थे, somebody hacked that. They put it. And once that number has been assigned, automatically the HSRP was generated through the vendor. And the HSRP went to the dealer shop. And dealer paid because these two vehicles are from two different dealers. So dealer got the number plate, he fixed it.
After that, it is correct.
Ah.
But the generation is not.
Generation is not correct. Correct. And it happens that because DM office is the vehicle, means RTO is under the DM office. So the DM suppose that. Because, and you understand this land revenue vehicle, there are a lot of corruption, you understand. See, only thing is that to my understanding, only thing I want to say is that if you do not practice the correct security policy implementation, then there is a chance that there will be breaches. Now, recently, what happens after this incident happened, nobody is interested to bypass the security framework because whoever is bypassing it will be held responsible. Now, for banking purpose, I think in every organization, I think you have a CISO here in the institute. You have chief information security. Every organization, like you have vigilance officer, you have CISOs. And let me tell you, this is in academic institute, it's a part-time job. But in banks, it's a full-time activity. And there are certain banks, I know, even government banks, they are taking a CISO on tenure of 3 years with a salary up to 1 crore per annum. It's a huge salary. Now coming to authentication. Authentication is a process by virtue of which the origin of the message or document is correctly identified. So if you have your email, if you send an email and later you say that no sir, I have not sent it. But I can prove that you have sent it because it is coming from your email address. Okay. So how will you protect your identity? So authentication is being not only through user ID and password, but also through two-step verification. आप करते हैं? अभी आप नया जगह पे अपना ईमेल डालेंगे तो गूगल में आ जाएगा. Are you the same person? Tick yes. So this is two-factor authentication. Okay. What happens in absence of this authentication? When a user C, sends an electronic document to user B, posing as user A, it becomes difficult for user B to identify whether user A has sent the document or someone else. This type of attack is known as fabrication. हम fabricate करते हैं attack. This is known as fabrication. Access control. There is 2-3 steps. Access control is a mechanism that determines what resources can be used by which user. Access control mechanism is broadly classified into role management and rule management. Role management is concerned with the user and rule management is associated with the user. Say for example, access control mechanism मतलब a person who is looking after the accounts will only have access to the accounts file. ठीक है ना? Now in conventional file management system, वो फाइल अकाउंट सेक्शन में रहेगा तो बाहर वाले अकाउंट में घुसेंगे भी नहीं, उसको एक्सेस मिलेगा. But in the computerized system, everybody is going through the same network. But then every user with user ID and password will be allocated some of the resources. Now today I am working in the accounts department. I have access to the accounts server. Tomorrow if I move to the establishment department, my access to the accounts will be dropped and my new accesses will be provided. This is being implemented using identity and access management system. We will go through that. Okay. We'll go through that. What happens? Next is what happened? Please close that door. What happened in absence of access control? In absence of access control mechanism, everybody will have access to every resources in an organization. This will lead to chaos in terms of confidentiality, availability, and integrity. Hence, from here we can understand the importance of access control mechanism. Access control mechanism can be implemented using access control list or case. Non-repudiation. One day you do a transaction, you buy a MacBook or an Apple iPhone, went to Chroma or Reliance Digital, swipe your card and you buy it, and later when the credit card bill comes, you say that I have not done it. I have no idea. This is, you refute the claim that you have done that transaction. So there must be a mechanism where you cannot deny what you have done. This is known as non-repudiation. Okay. So non-repudiation is a measure that does not allow the sender of the message or the electronic document to deny or refute claim of sending the message or the document. If you have sent your message, then you cannot deny it. Okay. The principle of non-repudiation defeats such possibility of denying something in terms of transactions that is actually performed by a user.
And how that is done?
यही बता दें. It will come. How to prevent non-repudiation? There are certain situations when a user, after doing transaction, claims that it was not done. Say a person uses his credit card to pay an online transaction and later deny. To prevent this, OTP is sent to his mobile for authenticating the transaction. Now, person OTP jata hai. This is a non-repudiation mechanism. If you don't give the OTP, but it is there in India, you know, in foreign country it is not. If you do a transaction in dollar in US or pound in UK or euro in European country, what the non-repudiation measure is there the OTP will not come. So that OTP mechanism is not there. आप credit card number दीजिए, expiry date दीजिए और CVV number दे दीजिए हो जाएगा. But if the credit cards which are issued from India, वो credit card company वो transaction हो जाने के बाद भी वो आपको एक फोन आता है कि आपने ये transaction किया कि नहीं. अगर आप उसमें deny कर देंगे तो वो revert back हो जाएगा transaction and that money will be available back to your credit card and that transaction will be lost. So for this purpose, India में still non-repudiation का ये हम करते हैं. So with this we come to the presentation. I think I am on time. Any question you have got here? Confidentiality, integrity, then it comes your availability, authentication, access control, and non-repudiation. These are the 6 principles of information. Cyber science security is not a rocket science. You try to understand. It's not a rocket science. It is out of our day-to-day activity. If we are enough alert and looks into the CIA triad, confidentiality, integrity, and availability, then you can protect, you can manage your cyberspace, you can manage cyberspace.
So one of our sincere participants has asked, sir, if he cannot tell how to become a hacker officially, then please give me some hints.
Right. I cannot do that. He is really sincere. Some of the places, some of the places are being called. Some places. It will not be right to fail. So thank you very much for your time. If you have any question, online people, if you have any question.
The IoT devices are getting compromised by the even they using their own native application. How they are doing?
See, let me tell you, even if they are using their native application, these applications are somehow available. See, I will tell you one thing. See, Apple uses its own processor as well as its own markets. Got that? And the security of Apple phones are high. But that doesn't mean that there has been no breach. At times the breach is there. See, it is a continuous effort of the hackers to try and break into the system. There are research going on in this. Okay. And at the same time, there are people who are developing some application. And there are some people who are looking into the application to find out where is the vulnerability. Now, as IoT device, if you make a very stringent application, the devices works with low power. Is it correct? So for implementing too much of security, majority of the power will be drained out because these are all battery powered devices. So if you have a very big algorithm to run, a security algorithm to run, then it will be much of the power will be utilizing in just simply complying to the security protocols. Now these people, they carefully studied that which device has got a which vulnerability. They exploit the vulnerability.
So one question has come. In recent past years, there are many micro loans. Those are approved by the name of the celebrities and other persons.
Micro loans.
But the loan was not taken by those persons. How can it be executed or approved?
अच्छा किधर है? In recent past, there are many micro loans that are approved by in the name of celebrity and others person, but the loan was not taken by them. Then how it is being executed and approved? That's correct. That this is happening. This is happening. Once it so happened that we had an MTech student. and he joined in some institution. Then he came to our place to have courses, like short-term academic courses. And there he has taken my phone number. And then he has used that phone number to take a loan. I was not knowing. One day, some police wala called me. He said that you have taken a loan. I said, I have not taken any loan. Then the police wala said, अभी आपको अंदर डाल के डंडा करेंगे. अरे भाई इतना आसान नहीं है. Then I say that okay, you come. If you want to ask any question, I will definitely cooperate. Then the bank from where he has taken the loan, and by this time they farar ho gaye. Now they asked me a question that how come he got your number? I said it's very simple. He was our student. Then I came to know that in the engineering college where he was working, he has taken even personal loan from everybody. That my mother is here, 10,000, and with a huge amount of say 20 lakhs years, and still the police is unable to find. One day he called me also. ऐसे तुमने क्या किया? ओ सर थोड़ा मेरा घर में प्रॉब्लम था जब मैं मिलूंगा आपको बताऊंगा. Don't call me. And I block his number. That particular. Now every now and then he is taking a new SIM. How will you manage it? But the police is unable to trace it. Because today he is in Calcutta, tomorrow he is in Bangalore. Why he is running and why he has done that? What is the motivation behind it? No idea. Huh? The internal people is always there. See, I will tell you, if somebody is not helping you, can you take an arms in the plane? It's not possible. So somebody in the bank, they are helping. उनको उनके बदले में पैसा मिलता है. And one or two people in organization when they earn money, then if you check their account or their lifestyle, you will find that a person who is getting some 60, 70 or 1 lakh rupees salary. If you go to their home, you will find that the home is actually wind up in gold and other things. गोल्ड लोन आपका उड़ीसा में हुआ है. The bank manager committed suicide. गोल्ड लोन लेते हैं ना, गोल्ड लोन 20 तोला 25 तोला सोना लाके लाए हैं, बाद में 2 तोला 3 तोला दिखाए हैं. तो बैंक मैनेजर को कैसे मालूम कि ये गोल्ड लोन ये गोल्ड नहीं है? वो तो ब्लैक जो गोल्ड स्मिथ होगा वो बता देगा ना. वो बता दिया है. They have tried to manage the goldsmith, and later it was now as per RBI mandate. अभी आपको एक मैं अंदर का स्टोरी बताता हूँ. RBI mandate अभी क्या है कि जो भी गोल्ड लोन है सबको निकाल के देखो. So auditing team is looking after that for gold. ये गोल्ड असली है या नहीं? And they have to sit and do it in the that strong room of the locker. वहीं पे होगा. वहां पे बैठ के उनको काम करना पड़ेगा. एंड दैट टू इन ऑड आवर्स. क्योंकि बैंकिंग आवर्स में नहीं कर सकते ना. बैंकिंग आवर्स में लोग उसमें घुसते हैं लॉकर के. तो अभी अगर वो लोगों को पता चलेगा कि बैंक वाले उनका गोल्ड निकाल के चेक कर रहे हैं तो फिर उसमें भी मीडिया में आ जाए. बट दैट इज देयर.
So one more question is that how to become an ethical hacker?
But there are some courses for that. As ethical hacking, some courses are.
One more question is there. Sir, yesterday you said that there are some apps for tracking phone numbers. Can you share the details on those? So we can also use
So
those
there are
apps.
mobile tracker app which will show the position. Then your true caller is there.
When we get attacked by the spammers by asking.
So true callers you can use. Then there are some mobile trackers out there. You will find it in the computer. Any other question?
Sir, which is more, sir, digital SIM or physical SIM?
Which is
More, sir.
more safe, digital world or
Digital SIM or physical?
eSIM or eSIM? I can tell you the way you handle it is more secure. Okay. So if you have an eSIM, then you lock that eSIM. Okay. So when you have an eSIM, you can lock that eSIM. Nobody can delete that eSIM. और अभी फोन में एक सिस्टम है कि even if you don't give the password or your finger, the phone you cannot switch it off. Now I don't know what this is. This is S23. It has also got a eSIM. This also has got a eSIM. But with Apple, the advantage is that the battery is the last thing you can disconnect from this phone. So unless and until the battery is disconnected, now Apple phone doesn't open from the back side. Apple phone always open from the front side. So there is the two screws are there. If you can see that, you have to open up one by one thing from here, the top part. So battery is the last thing you can open up in an Apple or iPhone. As long as the battery is live, it will continue to display its location. That's the beauty of that. As long as the battery is live, if I log in into the Apple phone, it will continue to show the display, the position of mine. This is the beauty of it. So even if somebody snatches your phone and run away, you will be able to track where he is running. So if you have a eSIM, lock that SIM, number one. Second is, for locking that SIM, use a SIM password. That should be different from opening your phone. And you should make it in such way, in order to switch off the phone, you need a password to enter. If you can do this, then you can prevent your SIM stuck. Got the point? See, nothing is absolute. Say, ये मैं कर लूंगा तो कल से मेरा चोरी नहीं होगा, ऐसा नहीं. घर में मैं गोदरेज का ताला लगा दूंगा, ये तो वही बात हो गया कि घर में मैं गोदरेज का सर ताला लगा दे, आपको चोरी नहीं होगा, ऐसा नहीं. गोदरेज का ताला काटने के लिए जा रही है, तो ताला नहीं काट के कुंडी काट दे.
So somebody has asked like this, the Truecaller app is itself not trusted.
Yes.
There was a past incident around 2019 for post UPI registration.
Yes.
So what is that post UPI registration?
ओ भेज के आप यूपीआई में रजिस्टर कीजिए. आप ट्रू कॉलर ऐप यूज करना चाहते हैं तो यूपीआई रजिस्ट्रेशन कीजिए. That's correct. Now that is the reason I don't use a true caller. प्रॉब्लम यही है. वो एक बंगाली में कहावत है, सोर्सेर मुद्रे भूत. आप उड़िया में क्या कहते हैं मालूम? मतलब whom to trust and whom to distrust is a very big issue. And trust is a two-way traffic. जयसिंह सर मेरे को ट्रस्ट कर रहे, मैं उनको ट्रस्ट नहीं कर रहा हूं, ये नहीं हो सकता. Back in 10 years back, our alumni said, he said, we should have trust in faculty and the directors. He said, trust is a if the faculty trusts the director has to trust faculty. Now in an organization, now trust comes from the commitment also. When I am talking about the trust comes from the commitment. Now in many countries, you will be surprised to see or surprised to learn that if I say that I will meet Professor Jai Singh in IMIT at 11 o'clock, I will definitely come. And if I don't come, then any untoward incident has happened to me, or else I will report him or inform him that today I am not. That's the level of commitment you have. Now the question arises that we don't have that commitment from the society. As an individual, we don't commit to the society. ये एक प्रॉब्लम है. हम क्या सोचते हैं, अच्छा वो शताब्दी एक्सप्रेस 2 घंटा ही तो लेट आया, हम तो पहुंच गए. But the problem is that if the train is traveling late, then whose responsibility is to fix that? It's the authority. हमारे इधर में वो साउथ सेक्शन में, सियालदह साउथ सेक्शन में पहले लोग बोलने लग गए कि लोग टिकट कहीं काटते हैं इसीलिए इतना भीड़ होता है. बाद में लोग टिकट काटने लगे. अभी तो यूटीएस से टिकट है, हम सभी कोई टिकट काटते हैं. लेकिन सवाल ये होता है कि फिर भी ट्रेन टाइम से नहीं चलती, फिर भी भीड़ कम नहीं होती. Now the problem is that if I say on the face, that will not be a good word. That, as I said, trust is a two-way traffic. Commitment is also a two-way traffic. Now this is the problem in our country. So when in 2016 I went to Taskam, the first day when a person came to receive me was a faculty there. He said, Professor Rajiv, you are ready? I said, yes, I am wearing the suit and come. No. By 8:30 I was supposed to pick you and you were supposed to be in the hotel. That day I learned, and that's why when you call me, I will always in the hotel. From the next day, when he was there to pick me up at 8:30, I was there at the hotel. ना हमारे इधर क्या है, अच्छा आ रहे हैं थोड़ा रुकिए, वैसा करते हैं. क्या बुढ़िया में क्या बोलते हैं, क्या की हो तू 10 मिनट लेट हो तो की हो, ऐसा बोलते हैं, नहीं बोलते. लेकिन हमने ये मान लिया है कि रेलवे अगर 1-2 घंटा लेट से लॉन्ग डिस्टेंस चल रही तो ये नॉर्मल. In Japan, if the Shinkansen is late than more than 1 minute, they issue late certificate. Because the average late delay of Shinkansen, the bullet train, is only 43 seconds. There is also a delay. They measure it in seconds, and we measure it in hour. और कभी कभी आपका कटक ट्रेन नहीं पहुंचा है, दिखा देगा पहुंच गया. There is a commitment actually.